Yo, I'm just going to say real quick. Do the numbers lie? Which is in this channel description. Do the numbers lie? Because right now we got Jay-Z and Drake. Well, maybe not Jay-Z's really necessarily going at Drake, but you know what I mean. They're saying that Drake has officially broken the record for the most #1 albums for any rapper in Billboard 200 history. Meaning that Jay-Z was the one that held that title. And there's a lot of other topics that I want to get to in just a moment because, man, of course, we got a few things going on in hip-hop culture. Well, actually, shall I say this? Not really going on in hip-hop culture, which, of course, you know, I have to get into what some of these Twitter battles are saying, these media personalities. But right, that can we consider these streams the same equivalent as to what we have in record sales back in the days when Michael Jackson was around? Let me go over here. According to this article right here, where it talks about, I believe that he broke a record for, it's not just the first rapper, but he had like, you know, they're trying to say that he went further than Michael Jackson. See if that will pull up in a second, or see if AI could find that for us. It's not for albums, but it's for the most hot 100 #1 singles by a male solo artist, earning his 14th with the Janice Shut the F Up. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that Janice Shut the F Up is a classic. I mean, it's going to be certified a Drake classic. You know, it's going to be certified a Drake classic. And if you guys can see me okay on the vertical stream, please tell me in the comment section. I'm streaming mainly from the horizontal, but I want to try to do simultaneously at the same time. So please tell me if you guys can hear me okay, see me all right. It might glitch out here and there. The internet, you know, does its thing. But, hey, we're going to speak on this real quick, man. And I know academics and all them are doing their streams right now, too. I was watching a little bit of his. And maybe I'll try to click back over there with hopefully not getting copyright infringement. But I must say, what are they talking about over there? I think they're talking about if he's an informant or not. What's new? What's new? This is what I've always said. Not only have I always said this, but I said this on TMZ, which is on my profile page. I already said this on TMZ, that academics is a paid informant. But I mean, we already knew this, right? But now, especially, I mean, those of us that are paying attention to hip hop culture, right? Especially after he got the chain, the OVO chain, right? We got to admit that he's obviously probably getting paid by Drake and Drake's team. Shout out Willie Rona Jr., if I said your name correctly. You said, what's up with it, bro? What's up, man? I'm good. I'm chilling. Hopefully you good, man. You said good times are now and ahead for music for Drake. You know, it's interesting that you said that. Thank you for your comment. It's interesting that you said that because other people have actually said that too, which I think I was watching Joe Budden earlier, and Joe Budden and his team had said that. And thank you guys for voting in the poll right here. I know I did another poll on on the page, so I don't know if that one came up correctly, but thank you guys. We might start a new poll in a minute. The new poll might be, what do you guys think of streams? Are the streams really legitimate or are they not? Let me put it in the comment section. What do you guys think of streams? Like, are they legitimate or are they not legitimate? Oh yeah, for sure. I'm about to join our other platforms. So if you're interested in that, just send me a DM and I'll send you the link to the platforms that we do the other shows on. I mean, like where you can call in, because it's kind of hard to do it right here. But yeah, man, please let me know in your comment section what some of you guys are thinking. Like I said, I mean, there were some things about academics that I was watching, and we could watch it from my point of view. But it also goes back to, it's like, yo, are these guys really talking about real hip hop? It's almost like they create news for each other to keep each other going. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that it's like, oh, we could do this and we could do that and we could just like make a lot of money and like create this fake beef. Because right now it's almost like so dumb that so many people got beef with each other right now. It's like, it's almost stupid. It's almost gotten to the point to where, is this even real hip hop or hip hop culture that people are portraying? Or is it just, another way to create more traffic and all that? Oh, cool, it's all good. Who knows if that's not as easy to monetize as you're in a beef with someone. You're like, F that fool. Oh, yo, you know what? Whatever. It's just like, if it gets to that level, it almost seems like that's what people find more entertaining. At least somewhat. Who knows if it'll change? Right now, somewhat, I understand it and I get it. But then another part of me is like, it's dumb. It's dumb. It shouldn't be like that, man. But that's the way it is as far as it is right now. So, I mean, we can go ahead and play it real quick. We'll come back to this. But let me just say this real quick. Drake, man, has he not put out a message, though? Like, yo, I've said this before, whether you like the man or not. And from what it seems like, I appreciate the fact that it seems like I got mostly underground hip hop heads that follow me. So I really appreciate y'all. Or like hip hop heads that like really understand the culture, really understand lyricism and stuff like that. It's not just like people that are just rapping over beats, but y'all actually understand the lyricism. So I appreciate y'all for that. I'll just go ahead and say, like, I can see, which makes sense. It makes sense because I've covered a lot of Kendrick Lamar. I haven't really covered any Drake. I've covered mostly Kendrick Lamar stuff and events. And I can see why most of my fan base is a Kendrick Lamar fan base. Like, most of the people that watch this channel probably will listen to Kendrick Lamar over Drake. And I completely understand that. But my point is this. I believe that we got to give props where props is due. And Drake with Iceman, like I said, for the most part, I'm just speaking specifically on Iceman. Drake with Iceman, I must say, I believe put out a phenomenal album. The beats, the rhymes, the delivery, and This is what some people might say. I've heard some people say this. That'll be like, well, how can we rate this or him as a lyrical or a lyricist or his pen, etc.? How can we rate him for that? And I'll say this. Has Drake, this is the point I was trying to make earlier about that. Has Drake gotten to the point of a rapper? You know what I mean? Like, has he gotten to the point of a rapper to where he is so good that we have such high expectations for him that if he just does some average bars, or not really average bars, he's flowing. We can't say he can't rap, but I guess some people out there might I don't get it. They just may coincidentally say that or ironically say that. But for the most part, man, he's putting bars together and he's rhyming, and I think we can all say that Drake is, for the most part, predominantly a good rapper. I think we can mostly say that, right? So when I listen to Drake, it's just like, man, you got to give props where props is due. I can't sit here and say that he's not doing at least something decent. At least, you know, you might not like it. I understand. Kendrick, come on, man. Good Kid, Mad City. Can't nobody deny that. But now that I think about it, Take Care was a good album too. It was a good album too. There's no way we can deny that, right? But yeah, man. Let's just pull this up since this is kind of what's current right now, which I know is dumb. But sometimes we got to cover a little bit of the dumbness to understand that this is really what's happening in the culture. So these two YouTubers or podcasters or Twitter accounts, however you say it, are going at each other. Academics and whoever this other guy is. And I think Academics is actually currently explaining himself as we speak. But what I got to say is this, though, is that I understand you got to address certain things. But also it's just like, yo, man, you've even gone online and have admitted to being paid by record labels to promote certain artists. Have you noticed this about Academics? And let me bring this up about him real quick, man. I mean, this is some other like white dude who I guess like feels like he's dope. Just look at him, man. He looks like the typical LA guy with those eyebrows. He looks like the typical LA guy that I don't know if everything you're saying is true. I don't know if everything you're saying is true. But yeah, let me read some of your comments. You guys tell me, are you guys feeling this rant of where I'm coming from, or are you telling me if you want me to switch it up? Let me read some of the comments if I can. Let me see what it's saying here. Yes, you say the streams, Willie. Shout out Willie. You say, yes, the streams are legit. Drake suing, so why cheat? While suing, it just shows how big Drake's fan base is. You said you're 33, born in 92. Been listening to Drake since 2008. Okay, straight up. So, like, you know about So Far Gone and all that. You said the work. Okay. Yo, if you're wondering what my Instagram is or Twitter or other social media accounts, YouTube, it's all beatGrade all around at beatGrade. What you see right here, beat like a music beat, BEAT, and grade like you grade a paper in school, GRADE, beatGrade, one word. You could see it right here or see it up there. And the Cashapp is beatGrade too, and the PayPal is PayPal me. I believe something like / at beatGrade, but the link should be in the description. So Make sure you guys hit that up. That's where you can find me. You can find me there or on Instagram and all that. If you guys can give a like too, that helps the algorithm so we can get more people up in here on this comment section. So make sure you guys hit the like button too, if you can. Take Care is Drake's best album, along with Nothing Was the Same. Iceman is top 5 or top 6, according to Willie Ron Jr. Thank you for your comment. You said that's the game, bro. Yeah, we're going to play some of the clips of what's going on with Ak and all that in just a second. And like I said, I apologize if it's a little choppy right now, but hopefully you can hear me okay. That's what's more important. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Take Care is possibly Drake's best album. However, Thank Me Later is pretty good, and Nothing Was the Same is also pretty good. But along with if you're reading this, it's too late, or if you're reading this, you know what I'm saying. That album right there, the beats on that album, and you know what's interesting is that I actually went back and I did a little bit of research, and I saw that Drake is actually utilizing some of the artists that he worked with on So Far Gone, which is one of my favorite mixtape / albums that Drake has ever done. So I found that a little bit of interesting when I went back and did some research on that. But the point that I'm trying to make, though, is that sometimes I feel like we have to give props where props is due, man. We can't always just be like, oh, well, you know, that's Drake, and Drake is all about this agenda, whatever, and he's whack because Kendrick already put him on blast. Nah, man. I think sometimes we got to give props where props is due. And we gotta admit, like, nah, man, he was actually rapping over some beats. Let's play this and see what's going on.
DJ Snackademic says that he has $100,000 for me if I can prove that he was being paid by the head of Truth Social.
Jeremy, I got $100,000 for you if you provide that.
Let me read some receipts. November 14th.
Tell me in the comments if y'all can hear this.
2025. Chris Pavlovsky sent a payment to Livingston Allen for $8,804, and another one on December 23rd, 2025 for $1,234. That's almost $10K. Technically, that's only a tenth of what you would owe me. I won't put it on screen, but you can go double check the PayPal act. Now I know you want to act all confused and Google it.
Head of Truth. Listen, who's this person? It's ran by who?
But you know this man very well, since he and others have been paying you for your Rumble deal since 2023, which is public information. And with these unstated transfers, who knows what else he was paying you to say. You can DM me for my Zelle info. Although since you said that you could basically be paid off by anyone, any politician, any party.
If a politician comes and says, Ak, I got $50,000 for you, put my banner as Republican 2028. Put it up top. It's up top. If the Democrats say, yo, Ak, we really need you, all we need is that banner up there that says Democrats for 2026. It's going to be up there.
You don't have a moral line when it comes to being paid. It's all money to you. I don't know that I want your dirty money, so I may just donate it. But there's more. Speaking of wire transfers, I hear there's a real investigation going on in Australia into you and your boy George, otherwise known as the Asian man who says the N-word freely and unironically goes by a name associated with this group. But I guess you've never really had a problem interacting with wizards. But allegedly, stake and also the money you've been receiving from there may not be exactly what it seems. And there may be some illegal activity going on there. All allegedly. But once again, maybe that's for another video. If Drake took out the D-R-E, maybe he'd be in jail just based off the name that it spells. I know it's hard for you to take 10 minutes off of glazing, but when you react, let's put Drake aside. I like a lot of the songs on Iceman, and I think it's a good album, so we can agree there. This is about me and you now, Ak. So let's have a heart-to-heart about your pride. But I bet that you have higher stake problems than me.
Huh. Interesting, man. Interesting. So I think Ak is already online kind of responding to this. I mean, I don't think we could really play the whole thing anyways without getting flagged. But maybe we could see if there's something.
Rumble originated from Canada. it is also an American company, but it originated from Canada, which also goes into disprove what niggas is saying. If you think it's some political shit, why would the Canadian company give a fuck about politics like that? But whatever. Like, you realize these guys are just like disingenuous to the core. Then they're saying, oh, this is about politics and Trump. Trump got elected in 24. What's happening like a couple months ago in 25? That there would be political propaganda that needs to be pushed. What? The point of the matter is that these guys are just lying. And I want to just say for the people, I'm going to fight them in a way I could meet fire with even more fire. I got this. This has been up my wheelhouse for the longest. This is my specialty, okay? You know that kidnapping movie when I'm like, yo, I got a special set of skills. I got a special set of skills too. Don't you worry. I got the names down, and just trust and believe. Nothing is off limits. You know how I get down. Nothing. So it's all good. I got all y'all names on it, and trust me, I've authorized you. I could print it, press it, I authorize. Because sometimes shit's going on, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I've told the team, if you catch them lacking, bomb it. I don't even need to approve it. Just run it. It's all good. Run it. Whatever it is, run it. Wartime, nigga. Listen, I'll be the Joker. Let this be Gotham City, all right? Let's see when everybody's shit is out there, and maybe when we're like twisting some truths around too. Maybe see how you like it. Anyway, the point is this. I severely took this as an act of war, honestly. These guys are intentionally lying. They're making up things that are not true. I've came here. I've literally proved it. They're calling. They claim that I got funds that are politically motivated from Truth Social, when the guy who owns the company that is paying me doesn't work for Truth Social. He works for Rumble, and I'm earning money on Rumble at this moment. The same thing. So now these guys who are jealous of, I don't know what they got going on in their lives. They jealous of me. They jealous of Drake. They jealous of Nicki. I don't know if they're not living. Well, they're fired. The guy who just said this, he's fired. He's unemployed. So I get why he's saying it. They're probably saying, how does Ak have this, Ak have that? Listen, start going to work, you lazy fucking bum. All of y'all. Get some talent. Adapt to the times. Stop getting built by me. And perhaps one day you look up there and maybe whatever you're jealous of, you don't have to sit back and make up lies that are easily debunkable. What do you think? I wasn't going to put... My nigga, I'm like an open book. You think I was going to put the fucking receipt up? I thought you were just lying, period. Then I realized, oh, you found it through Rumble's thing, but what do you think? I wouldn't show you the actual receipt? It's on PayPal. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for telling me where it is at. Thank you for using Rumble. Thank you for using Rumble. Chat. We're in a very evil time with some very nasty people. We have to go to war with them. There's no more Mr. Nice Guy. We can't sit back, because here's the thing. They feel like we're in the position of being number one, so they just keep throwing rocks at the stone, hoping that something will go their way. You can't be the person that's turned the other cheek. We're not J. Cole. We're not J. Cole at all. Okay? It is at the point, okay, fine. Jeremy, I would love to figure out what you got paid. I might have some sources on that too. Matter of fact, I might have sources on a lot of you niggas, because I'm usually the bury the shit when it comes to your counterparts, because let's not do mudslinging. But I love mudslinging. That's my favorite type of thing. So the warning has been issued. I suspect in the next coming weeks, we'll have some favorable results, right? All right, chat. Let's get to it. The belt show will never die, man. All right. That was a good spicy way to start this bitch up. Chat, they can't do nothing with us. They can't do nothing with us, man. It's been torture. It's been frustrating for these guys. And Lauren LaRose, I heard you got a dossier. You might as well send it over here. If you got info on me and you not sharing the info, you op too. The fuck we talking about? You think like you gonna have you got secret pictures And the barbers, y'all got to get at these motherfuckers. If they got secret pictures of everybody and financial docs and whatever, you got to get at these motherfuckers. Like, wait, you got pictures of people walking in their yard? Can't play nice to those people. Anyway. Chat, the Billboard chart says, I thought they said it was going to be delayed till tomorrow.
Yeah, it did. It said it was going to be delayed till tomorrow. So I'm sure that tomorrow everybody's going to be talking about what happened on the Billboard charts and what Drake did and how he beat out Jay-Z and Michael and all that. But like I said, I don't want to try to compare him to Michael because I believe that was a different era. That was a different time in history, okay? Like, that was a time where people actually had to go line up outside, stand in line, wait to be able to buy the CD and all that. This was not then. Right here, this paragraph right here that says Iceman pulled a staggering 462 million on-demand streams in its first week alone, securing the biggest single week streaming debut of the year. Additionally, Spotify and Apple Music confirmed that the triple drop made Drake the most streamed artist in a single day. Currently, let me just repeat that part back. Made Drake the most streamed artist in a single day. Now, is that possibly true? I mean, damn. That's yo, if he's hitting numbers like that, that's incredible. I mean, we can't front on that. It's like, yo, you had all of this going on here and this beef that was going on here too, right? And people were talking trash. And Jay-Z went and booked your arch nemesis at the Super Bowl, correct? He booked your arch nemesis at the Super Bowl. And what happens after that? What happens after that, y'all? Kendrick goes and disses him at the Super Bowl. Calls him a PDF in front of millions of people. And we know that Jay-Z is in charge of who does the halftime show, correct? Yeah, you know what? I mean, dang, that's a crazy position to be in. That's not a fun position to be in, man. That almost makes perfect sense why Drake put up all this money to protect his image. Yeah. Drake put up all this money to protect his image, as he should. That's what I was thinking about today. The number seems like it's all over the place, but I heard around like 8 or 9 million, but we could just say it's definitely in the millions, right? I think it's safe to say that, right? That it's in the millions. And it's like, yo, man, Drake put up all this money to protect his image and to show like, hey man, y'all talking trash about me, but this is not what I'm about. And he knew that it's like, hey, I gotta drop something. But you know what? It's not gonna just be anything. It's gotta be something that speaks to the culture. That's what I completely believe. I believe that it's something that speaks to the culture. And that's what Drake had to do right here. But this is the part that's interesting on top of that. The part that's interesting on top of that, if you feel me on this, and a lot of people aren't going to cover this, because like I said, man, you go over to Wackademics. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't going to hate on him. Listen, some of the stuff he was saying was kind of funny and kind of true. I'm not going to completely hate on Ack. Like, some of the stuff he does say is decent. He does have some good takes on some things. So just letting y'all know, I did say that. I did put that out there. I do, you know, I understand a few of his takes. But overall, do I think he's compromised? Do I think, is he a person who you can get real hip hop journalism from? No, I do not think so. I do not think that academics is real hip hop. And it's like, okay, some people might start getting compromised. We might start getting money, like real money. Like, we're already getting money off of this, obviously, but I'm talking about real money. Like, oh, like now we making hundreds of thousands and 6 figures and 7 figures and possibly 10 figures. We making that kind of money off of this content, right? That's the whole business of this, is record sales. That's the whole business of this. And it's like, okay, yeah, we're making this type of money off of it. And then some people and some record labels might come around and say, hey, you know what? It would be really cool if you said this on your stream. We see that you got a lot of people that listen to you. Could you talk about this instead? You never know, man. But one point I wanted to make, and I'm not sure if I made it clearly yet, but one point that I wanted to make was that I think that there was a time where academics was talking about Lil Baby, right? Y'all remember Lil Baby? Let me see if I can pull up Lil Baby. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can do this. Hold on just for a second, y'all. Let me see if I could do this. I was wondering if they were hanging out together before. Let's see. Doesn't really say. You know what? This is the point I'm trying to make, though, as I do a little bit more research. Let me do a little bit more research, but I'll put this image up right here so you guys can see what I'm talking about right here. DJ Academics and Lil Baby. Right? And I'm not trying to talk trash or nothing like that. I'm just observing what I've noticed. Okay? And what I wanted to say was, or is that I mean, it's like, where do you begin, man? Where do you begin? Woo. Lil Baby. If you all watched some of my videos before previously, you'll see I've done some videos on him before about the whole Mike Rubin party. I'm sure we've all talked about it now, right? Where he's at the white party and he's getting hugged from behind. You know, the billionaires are rubbing up against him from behind and hugging on him. Oh, it's so weird. And you know what's so interesting? This is what's so interesting about that. It's not the fact that you had a billionaire coming up from behind rubbing on you. That's not what's really that interesting. What's also interesting on top of that is the fact that after that, it seemed like your career just kind of went away. Like everybody was talking about it. And you know what I think it was? I think it was 50 too. Should we pull it up? Let me see if we can find it. 50 Cent. I mean, I think it was like when 50 Cent had made fun of Lil Baby and like posted, it said, "Hey, this is why I don't go to Diddy parties," or something like this. You know what I mean? And I think it was a time where Diddy was still out and still fighting. You know what I mean? That case. Speaking of that, man, who knows when he's going to get out, right? I don't know if y'all can see that, but see, this is why I don't go to these parties, Puffy and them. But 50 Cent had posted this and put this picture up. But yeah, this is the picture of Lil Baby, the rapper that you see, you know, standing next to academics, getting the man sandwiched on him with some guy with blue hair. And I believe that's or pretty much it is, the billionaire behind him, up on him, grabbing him from behind on the neck like that in a chokehold, or you know, yeah, it's pretty gay. We can't front on that. So it was like after this picture was taken, I remember a lot of people started posting it online, and a lot of us started making fun of it, including myself. I'll admit I was definitely making fun of this. And I said, well, if you're going to take a picture like that, you're already a trash ass rapper. Like, so that's kind of my point about academics. This is what brings me back to academics. Is that I think that there was a time where academics was like promoting this rapper and saying that this was like a dope rapper and like, oh, yo, you need to check this guy out. Y'all need to check for him. He got dope ass raps. And maybe some of his songs are cool. Maybe his songs, you know, it's not really my cup of tea. But maybe some of his songs are decent. But for what I know is that this dude, academics, was speaking on him like if this cat was the new rapper and the new Future. And Future, don't even get me started on that, by the way. Don't even get me started on that. And because I know that there's some of you out there that do agree with me. That don't even get me started on that. But let's just focus on this real quick for the most part. Some of y'all out there were saying this. So I found it really interesting that academics went up to say, oh, Lil Baby is trash. And it's like, oh, now you say he's trash. When those of us that are part of the culture, we have been saying that he was trash all along. We have been saying that Lil Baby, no disrespect, man. I respect every man that's part of his craft. Let me just put that out there. I respect every man That's part of his craft. But some music just may not be for some, right? Can we all agree on that? So maybe I shouldn't go as far as to say it was trash, but I'll just go as far as to say, like, it wasn't for us or our team. And then again, yeah, it was trash. But you know what I'm saying, though, right? So it's interesting, though, too. Now, I want to look at it from another point of view. It's interesting, too, that after this image or these images came out, and there's other ones. I don't want to go through the other ones. This one's already, enough. But after these images came out, it almost seemed like people stopped listening to Lil Baby. And I remember saying, I was like, yo, I don't know if I really like his music. People were like, oh. Some people, not everybody. Some people actually, a lot of people actually agree with me. But like people on the internet, that's what it was. People in, reality, they were like, yeah. But for some reason, people on the internet are always different. I don't know where these people come from. They're on the internet. Maybe they're just trolling because that's what helps get them more money. But yeah, I think mostly them, they were like, oh, no. This is like the greatest thing that's ever come out the South. I think that's where he's from, right? Is that where Lil Baby's from? I think he's from the South. Here, I don't want to misquote. Atlanta. Okay. So yeah, I was right. I was gonna say Atlanta. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I mean that's cool. Hey, I ain't mad at that, man. Do what you gotta do, man. Do what you gotta do to get on. Do what you gotta do to get money. But my point is not really with you, Lil Baby, and this picture. My point is more so with the hold on. Which one is it? Yeah, this one right here. The academics and Lil Baby picture. That's what my question is more so about. Is that you guys, I believe, used to look out for each other. And now all of a sudden you have this animosity towards each other. That's what I see now.
Is actually it was put out today, and a lot of records were broken. A lot of records were broken. We're gonna start this out, and by the way, I do have some more breakdowns of the album that I do want to do. But let's read the article that Billboard put out. Billboard has put out this article saying that Drake is the only living soloist to achieve the feature since the chart combined stereo and mono albums in 1963. Now, Drake today, he charted 12 albums on the Billboard 200 chart. And they said he did this for the first time ever. Now, not the first time he ever did it, but the first time it's ever been done. Now, I want to show you the albums that were charted. And they've been tweeting out records for this guy all day. So here are his albums, all 12 of them. Iceman was back on the charts today. Well, not back on the charts. No, it's debut number 1. HABIBTI, debut number 2. MAID of HONOUR, debut number 3. Take Care jumped to number 25. Views was at number 40. Some Sexy Songs for You with Party Next Door was at 55. Scorpion was at 65. Certified Lover Boy went to 69. Thank Me Later went to 81. For All the Dogs went to 96. More Life went to 130. And Nothing Was the Same went to 167. I was actually really surprised that her loss didn't make this list at all. But still, record number of albums being on the top 200 list, right? This is all this week. Now, I do want to have somewhat of a qualitative discussion about what does that mean, right? What does that mean to you guys? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It literally means that the play I told you that Drake was doing is being very effective. And how is it being effective? Well, Drake is just giving a stimulus package to UMG.
I'm gonna speak on this. We got to hear
right?
this part.
If you
right
guys
here.
look at, I don't know if you guys
We got to
care
hear
about
this part.
these things.
Let me meditate. Not really meditate,
UMG,
but you know, I know this is gonna be dumb actually, but we got to hear what academics are gonna say right here on this part. Give me. Just
in the last month,
I'm gonna be right with y'all. Hopefully you guys like and subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, man. We're gonna do some thorough breakdowns on the music industry and hip hop. And I'm about to jump on and open the lines up in just a moment. I was gonna jump up off of here, but I see we haven't even been streaming yet for about an hour, so it's all good. I mean, it feels like it was about that time, but you know what I mean. I think we're gonna go a little bit longer, so because I know some people go like 30 minutes and they good, but I'm gonna keep going. So yeah, man, make sure you guys like this, subscribe to the channel, but make sure you like the stream because that's what helps get more people up in here. So I really appreciate it, man. Let me play some of this and we're gonna speak on what Ak is saying because he's trying to break down the music industry and record sales and streams. So I mean that's cool if you look at it from that point of view, but it's like, is he telling the truth? I don't think so, but let's see.
Last month, Universal Music Group, the price of the stock has increased. Why? Number one, they have told people they're a catalog company. Now, even though Drake has 3 new albums, look at all these other albums that are catalog albums. And they're getting a lot of profit from that. But it's not only just Drake, but other artists as well. Also, it seems to be setting Universal up. And that's what I'm saying. Drake's move might have worked. If I'm Universal, you got to retain Drake. This beef or this battle is not a beef, obviously. You don't beef with your record label. This little feud, it's so minuscule that you got to solve it. Yes, I know Drake sued. The lawsuit got dismissed. He's filing an appeal. What I believe is going to happen is that this is going to be settled at some point. By the way, Drake has a song. What song is it? Is it Firm Friends? Where he's kind of like talking about it a lot. Where is it? Yeah, he has a song where he's kind of talking about it. And if you've wondered why he did 3 albums, if you've wondered what the play looks like at the moment, I'm going to show you what it is. Actually, we were listening to this guy earlier. How do I He pointed out the lyrics. I'm trying to figure it out. Is it this guy? Oh, maybe not. Maybe it is him. It's the UMG stuff. Here we go. Okay, right here. Good. Right here.
It's fried to the R switch base with the I.
Says, yo, this lawsuit I got is fried until the R is switched with the I.
The frame of this people retired, but we know it's a truth and a lie.
But then they'll frame it as some people retired.
Okay, so Drake actually gives us, and by the way, thank you to this guy. This guy's pretty good. I wish him and What's the Dirt would collab. But Drake actually explains in a roundabout way what's up with his situation, and he always does this. What's up with his situation with UMG, and what's the current plan? And you know, one of my things that I've been really critical of Drake about is like, yo, Drake, bro, like you know, when it comes to like fighting your label, a lot of times you got to explain to your fans what's going on, right? Because your fans don't really know what's going on. Like we've seen Taylor do it, but Taylor spoke out about it. We've seen Prince do it when he put like slave on like his face, but like he was in media speaking about what was going on and what was happening to him. Drake kind of has just filed a lawsuit. You know, you can read the lawsuit, but it doesn't really kind of help explain like his vision for what he expects to happen or what his real gripe is.
So right now, the status of Drake's lawsuit, as I make this video, like he basically lost, right? So Drake is acknowledging that's what it looks like, but it seems like he's saying that's not what it actually is. So it seems like Drake is suggesting that people at UMG are going to start being fired because of what happened with this lawsuit. But to the public, it's just going to look like that people are retiring. Oh, this person resigned, this person retired. In reality, behind the scenes, what actually happened is people are getting fired because of how things happen. Now, I don't know Drake's larger plan here, but he reinforces what he's saying with the next bar.
And I act like we signing a deal when they pay me for wasting my time.
So it seems like Drake foresees some form of settlement.
Now, this is where I actually said, you know, by the way, I think this is how this ends. And I didn't, you know, this went over my head. That's why I'm glad for this guy. He caught it. We're going to hear that Drake signs. Remember, I told you this. He signs a high 9-figure or a 10-figure deal, 10-figure meaning $1 billion. And all their issues are going to resolve amicably. Have student, you know, the stupid niggas are going to say Kendrick. The label, but how could you... So he's used that to get his leverage. Now, some people have thought this was always for Drake to leave. Well, here's the thing. Let me give you an analogy. If you're dating a chick, you cheat on her once, all right, you know, she forgives you. Second time you cheat, you know, she gets mad, she breaks some stuff, whatever. But basically, you get the feeling that this bitch ain't going nowhere. You gonna stop cheating? Fuck no. Like, again, in any discussion, you go buy a car, right? And you're haggling with prices. The one advantage you have is like, you know what? I'm going to the Nissan dealership, okay? Toyota, whatever y'all call it. We're going over there. That's how you cut the short shit short. And people like me, I say, you know what? No matter how much Drake put a lot into this album personally, a lot, but I still don't look at Drake as an independent artist. I don't think that, you know.
Yeah. Whoa. Craziness, man. Craziness. I'm gonna intervene in just a second here. I want to let y'all know I'm still with y'all. So if you guys could like and subscribe, hopefully put the word out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to take some calls in just a moment. We about to jump up on this. I just want to get a few things ready for y'all real quick. So, you know, tell me that y'all still with me right here. Yo, what's funny is that, I don't know if it's funny or not, but nobody in the poll had voted for J. Cole. It's all Kendrick and then Drake, but nobody cares about the fall off. That's interesting. So that makes me come back to another video that I might have to do later. I'm gonna have to ask, was the fall off trash? All right.
It would be so costly. It would be so much of a headache to run an operation of Drake as an independent artist. I don't know if he wants to do that. So I've always said that what's not going to happen is that Drake is not going into the free market. And when I mean going into the free market, he's not going to drop an album as an independent artist. However, in trying to get the leverage he wants, he has to threaten that or basically be almost willing to do it. He got to walk away from the negotiation table. Oh, all right, word? All right, bet. I'll be a free agent. I'll catch you guys on the charts. All right? Now, with him dropping all these albums, with this is a huge week for UMG. A huge week. They're also reminded that, hey, with these 3 new albums, by the way, Drake drops more music than everybody in the top 10 streaming usually, right? And well, YoungBoy's not in the top 10 streaming, but he drops more music than obviously like Rihanna, Abel, Taylor Swift. The way how streaming is monetized these days is that streaming is old enough that Drake new shit makes his old shit more money for UMG. So UMG even this week is eating more off his old shit than his new shit. So the thing is, why not keep Drake pumping out albums on your label that's going to help the old shit that you're getting money hand over fist with, and yeah, just kind of rate him at a different financial level and do the numbers. But $1 billion, yeah. Also, here's the thing too. What is the cost of going through this whole litigation with Drake? Right? Do you want to go through this whole thing and then, I don't know, I'm not saying they're going to necessarily lose, but they could. You want to limit exposure. Remember, these companies don't have like that ego, right? They don't have that ego of, nah, fuck that. We're going to do something that doesn't make financial sense because Drake has kind of dissed us. And I think Drake has kind of like put this lawsuit out there, then did all these albums and set up a whole bunch of plays while they're still negotiating. And the final act of the negotiation was dropping the music. Because think about it. If you're beefing with your label, why not just wait? Like, the buzz was up crazy. Why not wait till the end of the year? You could have waited till the end of the year, right? But he wanted to do it now. Why?
Your plan here, but he reinforces what he's saying with the next bar.
And I act like we signing a deal.
So he says they're going to act like we're signing a deal when they pay me for wasting my time. So he's almost saying if he gets a settlement that keeps him with UNG, really that's the lawsuit money. That's how he's going to take it, if you get what I'm saying. Right?
Deal when they pay me for wasting my time.
So it seems like Drake foresees some form of settlement or payout from UMG in his future. And Drake continues.
And I act like I lost my appeal, but they'll pay me for changing their mind.
They'll act like I lost my appeal, but they'll pay me for changing my mind. And lastly, and I think a perfect end to this video.
What happened to Drake from 2009 when
Yeah, it's just an advantageous position that Drake is in, right? So again, let me kind of like further like build this out. At some point, UMG probably says, "Hey, we have a valuable asset. He has the most."
Yo, academics is gonna be on this forever, and I'm about to stream, maybe take a few calls before we get up out of here on TikTok. I'm gonna keep it going real quick, but yeah, we'll see how many people we have that jump in the chat over here, because yeah, they get crazy on TikTok. And I see you, Will. Yeah, you're right, man. They had to fall off, like Lil Baby had that fall off, man. It was just like crazy, incredible. I mean, yo, this is like crazy to me.
B's on the table.
Yo, I will say this. Drake definitely put out a good album in my personal opinion. And I know there's just a lot of people out there that disagree with me. A lot of people will disagree with me on this. But I feel that Drake put out a good album. Hold on. Yeah. He put out a good album and we can't front on that. And I'm pretty sure that some people might want to jump up on here And I'll try to see if I can hear some of y'all. I would rather, and the reason why I have this image up here, right here, I should have put it up on the other apps. But the reason why I have this image up here right now is because I want people to know that I compare Drake more to like a Jay-Z era. I don't know if I'm ready to compare him to like a Kendrick Lamar or something like that. I don't know if I'm ready to do that yet. I mean, well, actually, I'll take that back. A Kendrick Lamar, yes. Even though they are so different too. But I was going to say like a Michael Jackson or something like that. But like a Jay-Z or something like that, yes. That makes more sense to me. And that's why I can have this image. Where just for those of you that are joining in on TikTok, we're going to talk about some hip-hop. We're going to talk about the Drake album, Iceman. I might take some of your calls. I want to know what you guys think in the comments. But if you guys can give some likes and some shout-outs or some ones or some twos if you can hear me okay, that always helps. Check. Want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. All right. Yeah. That always helps. Yeah, man. So Drake finally surpassed, shall I say, Jay-Z. Breaks the record for the most #1 albums for any rapper in Billboard 200 history. Like I said, man, you don't have to like the music. People don't have to like the music, but we have to give props where props is due. But there was one point that I wanted to speak on, and I'm glad that I'm able to jump on this right now real quick, is that, yo, some people were like, oh, you know what? They're trying to like put Drake in the same category as like a Prince or a Michael Jackson. And it's like, yo, in a way that's cool. Like, you could do that, right? You could do that. You could put Prince and Michael Jackson in the same category. And this is the other part that's interesting, right? This is the part that I wanted to speak on. Isn't this interesting that they were both speaking about the corruption of the music industry? Wasn't that also the interesting part? So now I'm starting to hear from what I've been looking at, and I've been starting to hear, you know, a few podcasters out there that are trying to compare the whole, you know, MJ and Prince situation kind of to what Drake is doing. And I think a lot of this comes from, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of this comes from people speaking their truth. And this is what they're saying. Sometimes they may be like, oh, well, I don't know if we want to hear their truth. Hey, give me some likes if you guys can so we get some more people up in here. It helps the people jump up in here. So if you guys give some likes, get some subscribes, get some likes, though. It don't cost you nothing. If you can give a few likes, it helps us subscribe. I appreciate you, Justin, for the follow. Thank you, Justin, for the follow. Yeah, if you can give some likes to the live stream, click double tap the screen. That helps get more people up in here. You know what I mean? If you guys could double tap the screen, get a few more likes up in here. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Same thing with YouTube. We're also streaming over there. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. And you know what's interesting is that we're doing a poll on YouTube right now. And I've been asking the question, who dropped the better album? Drake, Iceman, Kendrick Lamar, GNX, or J. Cole, The Fall Off. And thank you for the likes coming in. Kendrick Cole, Crit, Real Hip 3. Yeah, I feel that. It looks like that we got Kendrick. You know, it might be just about the following too, man. I would assume that I probably got way more, you know, especially the fact that I've shot some stuff or filmed some stuff with K Dot up in Compton. It's like I understand that most of the people probably would be Kendrick fans that follow us and follow our channel. And tell me if you can see me okay on the YouTube. Is about, like, that's what people are asking. Is Drake basically saying something, you know, like subliminal messages? That's what we can all think about. Could it be subliminal messages of what's going on about what he's saying with the Michael Jackson glove and things like that? And then, of course, some people might say, like, well, you know, you're also riding off of the Michael Jackson wave, right? He's also riding off the Michael Jackson wave, so a lot of people can say that, man. But what I will say, though, is that what he is saying about the industry and what he is saying about the music industry, it needs to be said. It needs to be said. There's no other way around it. And that's the part that I don't understand with some people, man. That's the part that I don't understand. Is that some people have been like, thank you for the follow, though. Yeah, I appreciate you. Justin, you said that it's been awful by Isaiah Rashad Album of the Year. I've been hearing a lot of people say that. Now that I think about it, I've been hearing a lot of people say that. And I love Isaiah Rashad, man. I got to go back and I got to listen to some of his stuff. But from what I hear from Isaiah Rashad lately, I got to say it's like this, man. Do people want to hear your story? That's all I got to know. Do people want to hear your story? I mean, you have to ask yourself that. That's the thing, man. But I think that Drake right now, he has a better story. He has a better story of what he's talking about to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't even think it's about being a Drake fan or if it's about being a Kendrick fan or rap or whatever rap fan that it is that you are. I don't think it's anything of that. What I think it is mostly is I think it's about real hip hop in a way. And sometimes you just have to be about the culture and you have to rap some real stuff. And my personal opinion, I think that's what Drake did right here. I think he rapped some real stuff. Y'all be going crazy on TikTok, though. I see it. All right, so yes, you say Drake is the GOAT. Well, I mean, I guess that all depends, right? I won't go as far as to say that Drake is the GOAT, but I will say that Drake is definitely one of the GOATs. That's for sure. Drake is definitely one of the GOATs. I would definitely say that. he's got some things to prove, but he's definitely proved it as far as I'm going to put an album out and I'm going to take over the Billboard charts and I'm going to sell more than any rapper or more than most rappers right now. He definitely did that. So I have to give him respect on that. But as far as everything else is concerned, I see where some people are coming from. I mean, I didn't realize that there's so many people out there that hate on Drake. But what I will say is this, though, is that, yo, man, why hate on him? Why hate on him? Like, sometimes you have to give props where props are due. And there's some people out there that are just rapping better than others. Like, yo, we were listening to some samples earlier today. Some samples that Drake had did earlier today. And, you know, that's how we were doing it. Yo, Big Dre says, you've been playing Drake for 2 weeks straight, my boy. Hey, that's right, man. I felt like there was nothing else to play. I appreciate y'all listening. Thank you. Yeah, I felt like there was nothing else to play, man. You know what I mean? But yeah. Well, it's not just that I was playing Drake for 2 weeks straight compared to what the music was that came out. But also, if you look at the Billboard charts, it appears that everybody was playing Drake for 2 weeks straight. So if you guys can give some likes for that, let's get some more likes going on so we can get some more people up in here. Let's get a few likes. Let's run it up. Let's run it up, y'all. Let's get a few more likes. Oh, AZ, huh? AZ? AZ Doe? Yeah. Somebody else had said that before. Yeah, if we get a few more likes, I'll acknowledge some of those comments. But one I'll speak on is this. You said that Aubrey, meaning Drake, aka Drake, bought the Billboard charts according to what you think. You know, it's funny you say that because you're not the first person who had mentioned that. And what I will say is this, is that I have heard some people say that he possibly bought the Billboard charts, especially back in the days. But this time around, I don't think that's the case, man. Like we had said before with some of us on a call, for those of you that were listening, man. Like I said, all the clubs and all the DJs and all the parties, they were playing Drake. But for some reason, we didn't hear him on the radio. If you guys are watching vertically on YouTube, can you tell me? And if you guys can see okay? But yeah, man. Big Dre says, if I were to play a mix of different music, you would get more likes and gifts, my boy. And I've done it before. It happens sometimes. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Don't really care. I never really did this for the likes. I did this because I wanted to come up on here and speak. You know what I mean? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got a check that's coming in from TikTok, so I'm happy about that. Thank you, TikTok, for some of the money that I get. I appreciate that. Yeah, I never really went into this business about the money. You know what I mean? Or the gifts. That's the reason why I understand Drake. This album, Iceman. You know what I'm saying? I just realized real hip hop, man. That's all it is. Like that's what we're talking about. It's about real hip hop. And I go back, and thank you for the likes coming in. I go back to real mixtape Drizzy Drake. You know what I'm saying? I go back to mixtape Drizzy Drake. And I gotta say, when Drake was putting out those mixtapes, I really believed that he was rapping. Thank you for the likes, by the way, coming in. And you wanted to know if you guys want to know or asking if I'm a straight Drake fan. It's not. From my personal opinion, I can tell real raps when I see them. And from what I see, it sounded like to me that Drake was really rapping. What did it sound like to you guys? What did it sound like to you? I mean, yeah, man. Everybody has their own opinion of what they like and what they don't like. You know, it's like, obviously, I'm a Kendrick fan. There's no doubt about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, one of your comments says you think Drake been busy in the studio for show. I completely agree with that, man. Because the reason why, and let me tell you why. I agree with that because pretty much everything that I was thinking, for the most part, like pretty much just about everything that I was thinking, that I was like, hey, if Drake is going to come out with an album, this is what he needs to speak about. And he pretty much did that. Google on YouTube says shebang. Sounded like Drake misses ATL in LA. Possibly. Man, y'all are funny in the comments right now on both platforms. And yo, just to let you know, on TikTok, I don't know if you guys can see this, but we got a poll going on right now where we said who dropped the best album, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, or J. Cole after the beef. So far, G and X, Kendrick Lamar is leading at 75%. And what's really interesting is that, well, we only have a few votes, but we have a lot of votes on the post. The post was like over 100 votes, and most of y'all did vote for Kendrick Lamar. But on this poll, what I find really interesting is that none of y'all voted for J. Cole. Wow, I find that really interesting. I know. We should see if we could do the poll right here on TikTok. Hold on. Let me see. I mean, I believe that we can. I just have to remember. See, I shouldn't have done that because now. See, it's not telling us what the poll's for, though. Next time I'll just do a poll, and I'll have you guys vote in the comment section. But how about this? How about we do red for Kendrick? That makes sense because Kendrick is a blood. So we'll do red for Kendrick and we'll do blue for Drake. So see if you can vote red or blue. For those that jumped in and jumped out. It don't matter. People jump in and jump out. It's all good. Yeah, give it a few likes so we can get more people up in here that can give likes. Oh, looks like Trash Panda. Looks like you're going for the Iceman. For sure. Yes. Okay, yeah. So blue is Drake. Red is Kendrick. Blue is for Iceman. Red is for Fire for Kendrick. Interesting. Okay. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. So far, it looks like we got a little bit of both. Some people are voting for Iceman and some people are voting for Kendrick. And because we'll just go ahead and say G and X. You know what I mean? Like G and X is probably better to say. Like, what did y'all think with G and X compared to Iceman? What were your thoughts on that? I mean, and why y'all think about that? Just remember, blue is Kendrick, or Drake. Red is Kendrick. Y'all trying to say if you're gonna rep that cap, play Kendrick. Well, I've already rep Kendrick. You guys can check my YouTube channel. It's in the bio right there. Go to my YouTube channel and you'll see beatGrade. And you guys can click on my YouTube channel and you'll see that I got videos of me kicking it with Kendrick. So that's why I feel like I know what I'm talking about. Like, it's funny how I got people that call from different states that live like out in Florida or New Jersey or somewhere out there. And they like, oh, Earl Sweatshirt is your favorite rapper, or Tyler the Creator, or Kendrick Lamar. And it's like, yo, I've worked with all these cats. If you don't believe me, you can look at my YouTube channel. Just click the name right here, beatGrade, as you see right here in the upper left-hand corner. Beat like a music beat, B-E-A-T. Grade like you graded paper in school. And you can see that across all my channels and all my platforms. beatGrade. Yo, man. You'll see I chill with Kendrick. But my point is this. It's not about chilling with Kendrick. It's not just about that, which I'm very thankful and fortunate to do. Thank you for the likes. Let's see if we can get it to 500, by the way. Shebang sounded like Drake. I see you, Google Earl. Or Google on YouTube. I see you. Yo, my point is not just about that, though. My point is about we got to give props where props is due. And currently, it's like Kendrick even said in the battle, I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he acts tough. Was that on Euphoria? That was Euphoria, right? I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he acts tough. That's what I'm saying right now, man. That's how I feel right now. Drake was definitely coming with the melodies on this new album. On all three of these albums, really. But definitely on the Iceman project, with also Maid of Honor, Drake was definitely coming with the melodies. I can't front on it, man. And like I said earlier, man, I understand it might not be everybody's cup of tea. It might not be what you want to hear. But for the most part, we got to say, and thank you for the likes coming in on YouTube. We got to say this, though. Most people liked it. Here, what are the comments saying? My top 5 best rappers. Everybody always asks that. It changes sometimes. When you say the GOAT lost 100 million streams, were you talking about Kendrick or Drake? Nobody wants to talk about Too Hard for the Radio. Paid more homage to LA than all of GNX. Yeah, GNX definitely paid homage to the West Coast. We can't front on that. There was a lot of tracks in there, a lot of subliminal messages in there too. Drake fans bring up numbers because they can't bring up talent or classic albums. You know, it's like both of y'all are just kind of delusional on each other, like Kendrick fans and Drake fans. That's why I'm happy to say that I can kind of step out and look at it from an unbiased point of view, where I think Kendrick and Drake both put out great albums. It's like, some people say this: is it okay to like both artists? Can we like both artists? Or is it like, oh, okay, you're from Toronto, Canada, so you can only like one artist, or you're from Los Angeles, California, so you can only like this artist from the West Coast. Thank you for the likes coming in. Like, that's what I'm wondering, man. Are you only able? Yeah, I am Ziggy says you like both. That's what I'm saying. That's what some other people said. It's like, are you allowed to like both artists? Like, if both artists put out good music, that's what matters. And it's interesting. I got the poll going right here. Blue is for Drake. Red is for Kendrick. But on YouTube, I got the poll going where 80% are saying Kendrick over Drake. But it's interesting. A lot of the votes on TikTok look different, though. Maybe it's a different demographic. Maybe it's because YouTube might be slightly Gen X? And TikTok might be slightly more Gen Z. Who knows? Hey, can you guys see me okay on the dual output on YouTube? All right, here. Let me see if I can play something for you guys. Yeah, I wish I could play Dust. Maybe I should. Maybe later on I can, after I sign off of YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube as well, so if I play any songs, there's a possibility that they could get flagged. Maybe if you guys send a couple more likes, I'll see what I can do. If you send a couple more likes, then I'll see if I can play it for you guys. And I know, let's just, okay, good. I'm glad we got some coming in. Let me skip through this ad real quick that we have coming up. Is Academic still streaming? I was playing some of it on the YouTube. Thank you. I know the whole goal is to see if I can get it to like 1,000 likes. All right, give me a second.
I'm here, people. Drake has broken every record. The boy lives. Every record has been smashed. He owns it all. We gotta talk a little bit about Lil Durk and a few other things. Lil Durk.
Just my own Apple right now, so I
Oh, really?
don't know who is afraid.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all.
What is the number one rap song on Apple Music for sale?
Let me grab this real quick.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
I thought he was capping. What? That shit kind of hard though.
Gotta catch up to the flash. Yeah, it wasn't me. Watch me bad. Tags, 900 million for the trash.
Oh shit. God damn.
Ready to Play It is the number one song on San Francisco on Apple right now. Just don't play the song. Yeah, that if you stop there, you just don't have to play the record or don't listen to it. Like you don't have to edit out. And the
For
disses
about
wasn't
you.
even like you want to edit out those disses, but you. Yeah, man, that's the track. All the disses. You want to edit out those disses, but you play Not Like Us.
If I was DJing the Toronto party,
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. Y'all gotta be agreeing with Millie Mall, bro. Yo, these media niggas is ass, bro. Like, yo, y'all be having me agree with Millie Mall and Rory Gang? Like, yo, bro, like, yo, what's up with y'all, man? Like, where were we at? Alright, that was 2 off the radio. Then we had Dust, that was at 8. It's Molly Santana. Is she Asian? No, she's the highest charting female rapper in 2026 with number 2. She has the highest charting segment, number 2. National Treasure number 6. He breaks the record for most simultaneous entries of any artist in the Hot 100 history, charting all eligible songs from his new album. Oh, so I guess his interlude wasn't eligible. Wow.
Yeah.
So he charted 42. God damn. And after a full year, the wait for a rap
All right.
song to be number 1 ends. Drake, Janet Shut the Fuck Up is the first rap number 1 since Kendrick and SZA Music. Shadan was 4, Whisper My Name. I love that song. Gotta whisper my name. I like that song. Ran to Atlanta, number 2. And Drake is now tied with Rihanna and Taylor Swift. Michael Jackson, we love you, but you have been passed. Hip hop albums with the biggest streaming debut. As much as we love Iceman, Scorpion actually outstreamed it, but Scorpion was a double disc with, I believe, how many songs were on Scorpion? What the hell? Devontae Davis pulled up? I know he been 6'9", but what the hell is that? Oh, it was 25 songs. Iceman at 18, so we should keep that in mind. Certified Lover Boy. How many songs Certified Lover Boy had? How many songs did CMB have? CMB had 21. Okay, 744. Again, I think Drake would have had over 500 if he only dropped one out. I know a lot of girls that, they don't care to hear Drake talk a lot of shit in the rap, but they care for R&B tracks. So a lot of them, they went to stream a BT or they went to stream Maid of Honor. For All the Dogs at 514 and Her Loss is 513. So Iceman's actually the 5th album in terms of streams. And also, you gotta keep in mind, BT was taken out, even though they're supposed to be recalibrated the charts since then, and also, what else? There's no support from the label. No support from the label. Oh, and Carter 4. Damn, Carter 5. Carter 5 got 433 million streams. Wow. Beer Bonds and Deadly, 431. Legends Never Die, that's Juice WRLD, right? 423. Eternal Tape, that's Boost. 400. More Life is 385. Wow. Most streamed artists on global for Spotify, Drake's number 1.
All right.
Stuff though.
So
By the way, all the Michael Jackson stuff, ironically, is charting.
can we go? Can we go all through off of record sales though? And thank y'all, man. I want to see what y'all are saying. I gotta see what y'all are saying. But I'll tell you this though. Is it all about record sales? Apparently it is. Apparently it is. Drake is doing his thing though, man. You can't front on that. I mean, we can hate on it all we want, but it's like, come on, man. Come on. Let me see. It's like what Axe said right there, though, was kind of true, though, about how a lot of the females don't care to hear about Drake talking trash about other rappers, which is what he basically did on Iceman. They want also to hear his R&B stuff. You know, they want Drake to get into his R&B bag. So I agree with him on that take right there, that they just want to hear Drake sing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he did. HABIBTI and Maid of Honor. As he should. As he should. And also it's like, okay, if it's also on top of that to get out of your contract, then we have to know that what he's doing right here is pretty smart. It is pretty smart. And what I will say is this, is that this is what could possibly change the industry. And you might say, how so? How will this change the record industry? I'll tell you how. The way I think that this possibly could change the record industry is that 60 deal, right? Or how he was able to get out of his deal with Universal. They probably didn't want this. They probably weren't like, oh yeah, just go ahead and drop 3 albums all at once. They probably wanted to stretch those 3 albums out for a period of time. That's what it was, man. They wanted to stretch these albums out for a period of time. And Drake was probably like, nah, I'm not putting these albums out for a short period of time. He probably was like, I'm going to drop all these albums right at once. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop all these albums at once. And the way he did it too, we have to all admit, was very strategic. Where it was like, this one's for the rappers, this one's for the ladies, and this one, I believe, was for the clubs. And we don't even have to go too much into detail into it, but possibly it could have been for the clubs that were for people of non-color. It could have been for those clubs. But nonetheless, Drake knows and knew what he is doing. He's dropping music for the clubs, man. I'm just reading some of the comments of what you guys are saying. But again, here we are right here where people will say, oh, but Drake has broken the record for Michael Jackson's streams. Can we please stop saying that? Hold on. I don't know if we can all agree to this. We need to stop saying this. Again, I do not believe that Drake selling records. Oh yes, and I see you, Danny or DY. You said Drake broke MJ's record. Yeah, that's what we were just reading right here. that popped up on this. Well, it popped up on the screen a while ago, but I'll just go ahead and read it again. For the most hot 100 number one hits by a male solo artist. But again, as I mentioned before, can we consider streams the same thing as record sales? And when I say record sales, I mean by physical products. Can we consider streams the same as physical products? When people actually had to get up and go to the store to buy an album. Trash Panda says, let's put MJ aside. Give facts on how GNX provided any more homage to LA than Too Hard. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree. GNX definitely paid more homage to LA. The whole album of GNX was about LA. I mean, that was like one of the reasons why Lefty Gunplay was on GNX, where he won the Grammy with Kendrick. It was about what's going on in LA. Too Hard for the Radio is way better than... what song are you guys talking about? It's way better than what song? I know you're not saying that it's way better than GNX as a whole. I don't know if I agree with that, Trash Panda. I don't know if I agree with that GNX pandered to LA. I think that GNX was definitely something that was needed. It was definitely needed for something that was for the streets of LA. When Kendrick put that out, you know, I'm rolling around LA at the time, man. It was definitely banging everywhere. Like some people had said, you didn't feel that energy, that type of energy, since Dr. Dre came out with The Chronic, or Snoop Dogg with Doggy Style, or Tupac with All Eyes on Me. Like, there's a certain energy that you feel, and that's why I'm glad. Like, one of the cats brought it up on the other stream that I was doing a few days ago, where they said a lot of these people, they can't relate to the music in some ways because they weren't outside when it was happening. And I was like, that's a good point, man. They weren't outside. Yeah. Thank you. I see some of y'all are agreeing with me in the comments. Yeah, and it's funny how some people will try to say, like, if I'm real hip-hop or not. It's like, yo, man, check the resume. All you got to do is check the videos. You can look at some of the videos that I've done. I'd say more so it's on YouTube than it is on TikTok. But all I got to say is, like, check the resume, dude. I got a lot of stuff out there, a lot of documented stuff, even working with TMZ. I don't think TMZ would be effing with me if they didn't think that I was real or my takes weren't real. Like, I know what's up with real hip-hop, man. Check the resume. Yeah, we all know what Drake was doing on that song. Exactly. I completely agree. I completely agree. And that's why I jumped on here real quick to just explain this. I mean, I'll probably even go thorough more into detail. I usually do a morning show, just let you guys know. So hopefully you guys can tune back in the morning. Just right now, I was like jumped on here in the night because I was reading the charts. But we'll get a more clear data of the charts, because I think that a lot of people said that the Billboard charts are supposed to come out tomorrow with a refresher and let us know what is accurately going on. So we're going to get some numbers tomorrow. Or this morning, shall I say. But like some people will say, it doesn't really necessarily always matter about the numbers. I understand that. Sometimes it's more about who is about the culture, right? Who was doing it for the culture? And I wish I could put it on a way where I could play it on YouTube and the talk at the same time. But I think I'll take a. So tell me what some of your guys' questions are. One of. I don't know if that was directed towards me, Panda, but if it is or if it's directed towards the other cat you were talking to, I'll answer one of those questions. You said something about what about GNX's, whacked out murals is a great track. I like TV Off. There's a few others. Peekaboo. Peekaboo's like really dope, really deep. If you even listen to the beat on Peekaboo, Peekaboo is like really subliminal and really got a dark message to it. Not only to mention that, but also the beat itself is pretty dope. And then, of course, he's got the other hits and the other singles like Luther and all that. But like I said, man, I could go through the whole track list and tell you a bunch that I like on there. But those beats and that production, and also, again, this is the same thing I said about Drake. But I'll go ahead and I'll say this about Kendrick, about Dot. Again, the way he came on GNX was very sonically understanding the frequency. So, Trash Panda says, I didn't ask for your opinion. That's it. Yeah. No, not necessarily. He's not going for anybody's head. He doesn't know what the heck he's talking about, because if he was listening carefully, he would understand that I already answered his question. When I said that the beats on GNX are LA. And if you don't understand that, it's probably because you've never been to the West Coast before. And that's why you just don't understand it. But I already clearly explained. And I have no problem answering this question for y'all, because y'all should understand. You guys should be educated on this. That's a great question. You need to be educated on this. Okay? That's what this is all about. It's all about the beats. It's all about the production. Go back and listen to DJ Quick. Go back and listen to NWA. But a lot of the beats, yeah, exactly. He ain't from LA. We already know that he's not from LA, because if he was really from LA, then he would understand the beats and he would understand the culture. But yes, Fresh Raider says Trash Panda ain't from LA. The only exposure he has to LA is yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's to listening to music and thinking, oh, so what's LA? What defines LA? But if you really knew what LA culture is, then you would know. Well, then that's why Kendrick won all the Grammys. That's why Kendrick won all the Grammys for GNX. You can't preach on what you don't understand, man. Right. Like, this is hilarious. This is hilarious that there's people out there that actually believe in this stuff. Like, some of y'all actually believe in this stuff, man. That's like what is hilarious. But like I said, man, bet you're too young. Bet you don't understand. Bet you weren't there. Trash Panda, which makes sense that your name starts with trash. I mean, now that I think about it, it makes perfect sense that the name starts with trash, because your fucking takes are trash. Danny says family manners ended Kendrick's career. Yeah, I don't know about that. He went on to do a tour that like grossed one of the most highest paying tours in the world. That, made like 200 million. Are you guys trolling? Yeah, y'all must be trolling. I'll probably go on for a few more minutes. Thank you for the likes coming in, but y'all trolling. I'll probably go on for a few more minutes. But before I get up out of here, I've already been on for about an hour. Thank you for the likes, though. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully we can get a few more on YouTube. That'll be great. But yeah, man. Let me just go ahead and say this. Yeah, I don't know what the heck they were talking about. Now that I think about it, but yo, man. Right now, the talk of the town is Drake. That's what the talk of the town is right now. And right now, Drake is doing his thing. I gotta say. And if people deny me or disagree with me, then it's like, tell me right now which rappers are rapping better. And not only that, not only can you tell me right now which rappers are rapping better, but not only that, it's like, yo, man, I mean currently, like who's putting out hotter tracks right now? We can name some rappers, man. There's some rappers that are on tour right now, and for the most part, I don't see none of them doing anything, man. I don't see none of them doing anything. But it's all good, though, man. To each their own. Yeah. I pretty much assumed he was a bot. He was just a rage baiter. Thank you, Free Raider, for pointing that out. That Trash Panda was really just a bot. Yeah, I already felt that. But whether he was a bot or, you know, a real person or somebody was typing his responses, I think he got checked. I checked his ass and I let him know what's up. But yeah, man. For those that might be asking some of those questions, go back and listen to the beats and listen to the beats of any culture. Yeah, Trash Panda, let me answer this question for you. Nobody can really describe to you what LA culture is. You have to go to LA and figure it out for yourself. Why don't you answer this question? Why don't you tell us where you're from? Where are you from? What city are you from? City and state, please. Tell us where you from, so we can know, so we can get a better idea. Yeah, city, state, age, and nationality, please. Very far away from LA culture. Atlanta's very far away, a whole different world. Also, race, please. Black, white. What's the nationality? Yeah, because we were about to sign up out of here, but since you want to ask questions, yeah, you said next question, so I'm asking the next question. The next question is what's your ethnicity? White, black, be honest. I'll say this for now. The South, Atlanta is considered the South. I got friends from the South. I got friends in Atlanta. Awesome. Have you ever been to the West Coast? That's my next question. Have you ever been to the West Coast? Particularly California. Well, you said to ask the next question. The next question was, have you been to the West Coast, particularly California? I'm asking you a different question than most people have asked you because I'm not like the same as you can see here. Danvey says you've been to the West Coast. Shout out. What part of the West Coast have you been to? But I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Nah, so you haven't been to the LA. Portland's not really considered the West Coast. Coming from Atlanta, it is. Where did he say he was from again? Atlanta. Oh, yeah, that's right. You ain't far from New York either. You been to New York? Nice. Danvey or Danny. I can't see your name from here. I think it says Danny or Dunvey or something. You said you've been to San Fran and LA. Word up. Okay. What about Trash Panda? Have you been to New York at least? That's closer to Atlanta. Have you been to New York City, Manhattan, Brooklyn, to be exact? Have you been to any of those cities? No. Well, the reason why is because Portland is not really considered the West Coast. That's not considered I mean, it might be West Coast considered to where you came from, but it has nothing to do like it's nothing completely like California. New York is somewhat close, but if you've only been to New York for one day and you were like really in you know, I don't know where that is, NYJ, I'm not sure where that was. You just from the South. And that's cool. You from the South. I've been to Atlanta myself, man. It's cool. I like Atlanta. Y'all got some good soul food out there. But what I will say though is that it ain't nothing like LA. Like you ain't gonna understand LA. And like try to listen to this to what I'm saying to you so you can understand. Hey, this will be the I don't need to ask any more questions after this. What's your age? What year were you born? This will answer everything. What year were you born? Okay, so yeah, that answer is right there. 94, man. So you're pretty much, I think that's Gen Z. I'm not sure. Maybe like right before Gen Z. So about 2015 is when you started to see kind of what was going on a little bit. You know, and that's cool. By the time you was born and became a teenager, LA and all that, and a lot of what's going on in hip hop culture had already changed by then. So that makes sense. That makes sense. That explains why you asked those questions. Moving on. Who's next? Yeah, well, that explains it. That explains it. You're not going to understand. Like, your generation grew up on the internet, kind of, sort of. So, like, my generation, we grew up before the internet. So, it's like, you know, trying to explain how to create fire from rocks to somebody who's used to using a lighter. You know, it's just not going to make sense to them. But, yes, Drake, I think, is a GOAT. Will I say that Drake is the GOAT out of everybody else? I don't know. I don't know if I could say that, man. I don't know if I could say that Drake is the GOAT out of everybody else. But I will say that Drake definitely came through with this album and did his thing. So, yeah, exactly. But, yeah, man, if you guys are on tomorrow, I usually jump on here in the morning. I just jumped on here real quick in the night because I wanted to say what's up to y'all. I felt like streaming, and I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the questions. I appreciate, I appreciate y'all saying some things to keep me on my toes in some ways. But like I said, I study this hip hop, and I know what's up with this hip hop. So, you're talking to a real one right here. But yeah, man, I thank you guys. Hopefully you guys can tune in. Sometimes I usually go on, just to let you know. I usually go on at 9:30 Eastern time, Monday through Friday, or I'll go on about 2 o'clock Eastern time. So either 2 or 9:30, one of the two. So hopefully you guys check out what was going on. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably get back to you guys once I get back. And yeah, man, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much. Check you later.